Thank you. Well, so before I start, I think I'm not gonna use this microphone because my voice is pretty strong.
Okay.
And I think I'm here because of you guys and not because of some video joke. Okay. So I'm gonna give you a question. I think I will ask the same people like before because I don't know all the audience. Neil, what subject you didn't like in your high school?
Oh, math.
Math.
Yeah.
What was the reason you didn't like math?
Because they put me in the honors level math, and I was only good at art.
Okay.
So they misread my skill with math.
Of course. You, Michelle?
Science.
Science. Why?
But words are like so big and hard to understand and like dissect everything.
Exactly.
And sometimes you have to use animals to kind of like take apart or whatever for them to describe.
Okay. Me too. Me personally, I hated physics and math. And the reason was that I had to put a lot of effort to understand because it was really difficult for me. Yesterday I saw at Facebook this equation. And the solution was and the comments were, why it cannot be so easy? Because people love to make things easier. They hate complicated stuff. So my major language is Czech, one of the most difficult languages in the world. And it's quite ironic that I really enjoy this fact. Okay. At the beginning, do you know how many people in the world speak Chinese? Do you know? One. It doesn't matter. What about English or Hindu, Spanish? Let's check it together. Okay, Chinese speak about 800 million people. English 500 million. Hindu, Spanish, the same number. This number is pretty big, am I right? Okay, so together the major 10 world languages are spoken by about 3.5 billion people. It's more than 50% of population. And now Czech language. Can you guess how many people in the world speak Czech? Any idea? 40 million? 40 million, I heard. Okay. Actually, it's lower. It's only 12 million people. Only this number of individuals are able to understand Czech language. In the next 20 minutes, I would like to make you a bit more familiar with my language. But anyway, before I begin, let me introduce you some facts about my country. I will start with a video. Hope it works. I'm sorry for the quality. It doesn't understand. So this is on the square in Prague. This is really beautiful castle, Karlštejn. This is Český Krumlov, the city in the south of the Czech Republic. Don't worry, it's only 30 seconds. I really miss my country when I see it. It worked better before, I'm sorry. Now, where the Czech Republic is located is a small country in the middle of Europe. It is bordered by Germany and Poland in the north, and Austria and Slovakia in the south. Czech Republic are quite quite introverted and reserved people until they get to know you. But I think I am not a very typical example for my classmates. Then Czech girls are considered to be one of the most beautiful girls in the world. Yeah. Martina, can you raise your head? Yeah, this is my Czech girlfriend, so you can consider it if this is right. Czech national beverage is beer. I think that Czech beer is one of the best beer in the world.
Oh, yes.
And you can buy a pint of the beer in Czech Republic for only $1. So I really recommend you to come and taste it. And last but not least, I have to mention our capital, Prague, because in my opinion, this is the most beautiful city in the Europe, together with Paris. Prague has really long history, so it has changed a lot in the last centuries. And also the Czech language has changed a lot in past. Can you imagine the situation that you will come one day to your class and your teacher began? From today, you are not able to speak English or Korean or Japanese anymore. From today, the formal language will be the language X. It sounds like a science fiction novel, no? But for Czech people, it was the reality. The reality what was repeated in the past many times, because we were occupied during World War, and we were manipulated by many other nations. Like you can see in this map again. For example, German-speaking Austrians or Russian. Anyway, thanks to the effort of Czech politicians, writers, and other people, I am here today and I'm able to speak Czech. Okay, I speak English. Something from the history now. Czech language is one of the Slavic language. It was separated from the Slavic languages by many changes between the 10th and 15th century. And in 16th century, John Hus came with diacritical system. You know what does it mean? Diacritical system is a system of marks what we use to put over the letters, and then we change the pronunciation of these letters. For example, the letter C in Czech is gonna change to Če, or the letter A will change to A. Okay, now you know all the rules of Czech, and I can teach you some basic words or sentences. In Czech Republic, we use the same words to say hi and bye. So let's try it. Ahoj.
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 So tomorrow when I will come, I expect from everyone to say it. Okay. And now very useful sentence. I use it here in Canada every weekend. Všechno zaplatit. Together. Všechno zaplatit. Tento pán. I maybe shouldn't say it in front of my boyfriend. Všechno zaplatí tento pán. Všechno zaplatí tento pán. This gentleman will pay for everything. We will use it in the Czech Republic very often. So if some girl will ask me later, I will teach you better. Okay, now, Martino, nemyslíš si, že tady to publikum je dneska pěkně nudný?
Yeah.
Já si taky myslím, jako na mě vůbec nedávají pozor nic. Yeah. I think you should defend yourself a bit, because I'm thinking I am talking with my Czech girlfriends that you are really annoying audience today. I just wanted to mention one advantage of my language, the language what only 12 million of people in the world understand, that I can use it in some situation I can talk with my Czech friends and nobody understands me. And I realized it the first day I came in Toronto. And I realized it before that every day you deal with situation, you want to comment something and nobody understands you. It's really amazing. I will give you some more example. For example, like, ta holka má na sobě fakt příšerný tričko, nemyslíš? This girl wear a horrible sweater, don't you think? Or nemyslíš, že ten kluk je hroznej? Neblázný, já mu dávám falešné telefonní číslo. Don't you think that this guy is really weird? Don't worry, I'm giving him a wrong telephone number. We really use it every day. Okay, let's continue. Why the Czech language is so unique? I think that the reason that is that it's so difficult. For example, in Czech, many words doesn't have vowels. For example, try to say zmrzl, zmrzl, stvrdl, stvrdl. Or the sentence what we share among Czech people is strč prst skrz krk. Does anybody want to try it? Neil, try it.
You probably picked the worst person. Can you model it one more time?
Strč prst skrz krk.
Strč prst. Strč.
No. Okay, no. Or what is really unique in Czech is the letter S. We have special sentence for this. 3333 stříbrných stříkaček stříkalo přes 3333 stříbrných střelek. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to try it. It's quite complicated for Czech people, so just for children. Okay, I will continue. In Czech, we have a really difficult morphology. We refer to our nouns in 7 different ways. I'll show you. I chose the noun dog. So, who dog? Without whom, pes. Without whom, psa. To whom, psovi. We see whom, psa. We address call pse. About whom, psovi. With whom, se psem. I don't know if you get it so quickly. In English, it's much easier. Dog, 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 dog. Yes. In Czech has also much more difficult grammar. For example, we use with verbs person and number. We have much more complicated structure of sentences. With nouns, we use also number and gender. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time to explain you everything. Again, my language is difficult and I really enjoy this fact. Am I crazy? Maybe. Maybe the children of elementary school in the Czech Republic would also think I am, but I have a different theory. Let me show you another picture. Okay. This is a native speaker of Czech language, of the difficult language. It's like me. This is foreigner. Okay, English speaker. I will again use Neil. Can I? Neil is trying to understand Czech. Are you?
I'm trying.
As I shown you with the examples, we have quite difficult phonetics, like the letter Š, for example, skrzl, skrzl. Martina. She heard my mistake. Phonetics. really difficult morphology. And a lot of new rules in grammar. Neil has to put a lot of efforts to understand all these new things. For me, it's much easier, so not the other way. I think for me, it's a big advantage. Okay, now let me explain something about what I call resonance theory. 2 years ago, I participated in Erasmus program in Spain. I hadn't known any Spanish before I went to Spain, but after 6 months, I was able to attend Spanish classes without problems. But what I want to mention is that after 6 months, I had really good Spanish pronunciation. I asked my Spanish friends if they can tell me some difficult Spanish phrases for to repeat it, and nothing was problem. So even the tongue twisters. So I was thinking, how is it possible that everything is so easy? After 1 year, I was almost considered to be a native speaker. Maybe the reason is that there are so many regions and dialects. So I always say, okay, I'm from another region. And they believed me. So I think that from my childhood, I'm always listening really complicated words from my mother, and it created something like wide open spaces resonance in my ears, because Czech language has really difficult syllables and tones, and because of this, I'm able to repeat it and listen and understand the foreign languages much easier than foreigners. American girl, for example, or Neil. But maybe it's all about attitude, because Czech people are open to learn other languages because they make a purpose to learn other languages, and they are prepared to open their brains to learn them. For example, in Czech language, we don't use dubbing for cinema movies. Do you use dubbing here in Canada? I think you do. And in Spain, they also use dubbing for everything. We use subtitles because we respect the origin art. I think it's really important. For Spain, for example, in Spain they traduced everything. For example, U2 wasn't U2, the name of the band, but it was U2. Or hot dog, the food was perrito caliente. In Czech it's hot dog. It's really crazy. But on the other hand, I think Czech is, like language, is really creative. Did you know, for example, that robot is a Czech word? Yeah. I found this statistic on the internet. The statistic is talking about the relationship Czech people to patriotism. As you can see, the most important values for Czech people are culture, history, creativity, and sport. Yeah. And I think we can find a language in all these values. For me personally, the language is the most important part of patriotism. I don't know where I will spend the next few years of my life. I don't even know if the father of my children will be Czech. But I am sure that I want to spread my language anywhere I will be, because Czech makes me unique, at least abroad. Thank you.
Děkuji, Michaela, for that presentation.
Prosím, není to.
See, I told you I knew some words in Czech. Well, one word in Czech. So let's go on to our judges.
So, well, maybe Will is better at learning languages than I am. But
now.
Yeah, I do envy your position as a native Czech speaker, and that was a great presentation about a very specific topic. I think I like that you kept on task with just one topic, not going too far with about culture and just sticking with the language. That was great. That was really well illustrated. You used several different methods to illustrate your point. I like your introduction was a nice, easy doorway into the information, and your conclusion was really good as well. It was really solid. You're naturally already like a very commanding speaker and a very sort of strong presence, so it's impossible to ignore you. So your subtleties and your jokes really came through. So good job with that. Everything was improved. I think it was again like the best example of the presentation was tonight. So.
So I'll just add to things that he didn't say, all right? Because there's a number of things that he did that I came up with as well. Except the fact, even though he did bring up the aspect of use of your visual aids, I was quite impressed with your PowerPoint because you had a lot of the features than just having the actual picture on the screen of the content. So it didn't necessarily give all the content away as soon as they saw the screen, which was good because you did have to use a lot of words or demonstrations, but still you took it in a good stride for them not to just notice it right away. So that was a good key right there that you followed. You had clear organization throughout your speech, and the only thing I would suggest is be careful of not going off focus. So as you're going along, you flow so well. Like he said that you're just natural speaker. You just want to be cautious of how far you go when you're flowing with your flow. So when referring back to your friend, back and forth, it can take people off track. So you just want to be cautious of that, of how many times you do it. Now, you addressed the problem of the video flawlessly. Like, I love it when I see people do that, because then you don't distract the class. And you did it so flawlessly. Like, I was very impressed. You have excellent eye contact. Like, excellent. So you weren't just looking there, you looked around. Because you take notice of just people everywhere around the room. That's very good as well. Now, you use numerous examples to support your content, and that's very good. So what you're telling us, it's something that we're learning, but you also demonstrated so we can actually grasp it. Because you're Czechoslovakian, you fully understand it, but you doing that helps us to learn. You're making it user-friendly, per se. And last but not least, one thing I know I said at the last festival, don't say sorry. That's one thing you don't do, because then you make it obvious that you made a mistake. So try not to say sorry. Okay. Other than that, I'm just overwhelmed. I love it when I see people just flow, and you're just so engaged. Like it's flawless. It's like you're just having, like I said before with the other girl, we're just having a conversation. You know, and that's very impressive. I really enjoy when I see that.